Yesterday, the Florida State Seminoles went up to Virginia for their first ACC conference matchup. This matchup in Charlottesville brought out the biggest crowd Virginia has seen since 2023. Starting off in the third quarter, the Noles are down by 7 and Castellanos finds the opening in the pocket and takes it all the way to the 8-yard line. Second and goal for FSU, Randy Pittman Jr. lined up in Wildcat. He lobs it over the top for a Florida State touchdown, tying up the game. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's Virginia's Chandler Morris who finds the hands of his receiver for another Cavaliers touchdown. Moving to less than 3 minutes left in the game, and again it's Castellanos escaping the pocket for a 25-yard gain and a Seminoles first down. Making it 1st and 10 for FSU, Castellanos takes his time, gets back, and looks wide to find the hands of LaWayne McCoy for that Seminole first down. With less than 1 minute left in the game, FSU is still down. Castellanos needs something right now. He rolls left and launches one downfield, connecting with Randy Pittman Jr. to tie up the game, sending the game into overtime. Randy Pittman! Unfortunately, after a deep-fought battle, the Cavaliers handed the Seminoles their first loss of the season with the final score of 46-38. And recording 3 touchdowns, 2023 Mosley graduate Randy Pittman Jr. talks about how being on the road for the first time this season affected the result.
I think it's always hard on the road. It's kind of like you against the world, but I think, it just really comes down to execution. I think early on we got to execute better. I think there were opportunities we had where we could have started fast, but we just didn't capitalize. So I think it all really boils down to our execution early.
Pittman ended the game with 1 receiving, 1 rushing, and 1 touchdown pass, playing a significant role in Friday night's matchup. The Seminoles will take on Miami next weekend at home in Tallahassee.
Randy Pittman!
And tonight concluded the Week 5 of college football, and that means the conference games began throughout the entire NCAA. So let's take a look at this weekend's scoreboard. Starting off with some Friday night lights, we had talked about it. The Noles on the road, Charlottesville, Florida State, taking its first loss of the season to the Virginia Cavaliers. And the game that just ended here on ABC, the Crimson Tide won up in Athens, beating Georgia Bulldogs with a final score of 24-21. And moving on, heading out to Oxford for the matchup between the Tigers and the Rebels. Ole Miss coming on top over LSU with the final score of 24-19. Another SEC matchup in College Station. The Auburn Tigers lose on the road to the Texas A&M Aggies 16-10. And some other scores we have for you tonight is the tight game between the Volunteers and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Volunteers pulling through, handing the Bulldogs their first loss of the season with the final score of 41-34. And lastly, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets went up to Wake Forest for another insanely close battle, topping off the Demon Deacons with a final score of 30-29.